Hey, what's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe, and we are back here for another episode. Now, I literally just 2 seconds ago logged on, and I saw my friend Andy here. And I said, Andy, you look familiar. And he said, I was at the last Mastermind just 6 months ago. And so let's hear what he's done since the last Mastermind and how it helped him and what he thinks of that experience. Andy, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey there.
How are you?
That's what they call me now, the hey there guy, because that's what I always say.
Oh, really? Like a Howard
Yeah,
Stern? Hey now.
yeah, but I say hey there on the intro to a lot of my TikToks. So, I'm a 60-year-old
Did you ever
TikToker.
did you ever think you'd be saying that?
No, I did not. I've been a manager with FedEx this time for 10 years and 9 years prior to that, back in the 80s and 90s. So I thought I was always going to be a FedEx guy. I am still a FedEx guy, but
Yeah. Wow. So, tell us about your experience with the Mastermind and also how you found Legendary, but then you went to the Mastermind. That's where I met you. Did something change there, and tell us what happened since?
Oh, I hope we have about an hour.
We do.
I actually started with Legendary last year in May.
Uh-huh.
I'm a manager of division at FedEx and called Critical Inventory Logistics. And right after I signed up, I had to hire and train 3 new people. And so I got really bogged down in that, and I didn't have any spare time. I was on the road all the time. And then finally, in December, when I went to the Mastermind, I gained a lot of traction that week. I met a lot of fired up people that had gave me all the nuggets. It's the way even though you say there's not some little nugget out there, people are the nuggets, the people that you interact with. And I
Yeah.
had like 600 followers on TikTok in December when I was at the Mastermind. And I had 600 followers at the end of December. At New Year's, I went over to 1,000. That was the main thing that Megan and Ryan encouraged me to do. Get to 1,000 so you can go live, so you can add your link and all this other stuff. And I did that on New Year's Eve, right at midnight. I went over to 1,000. Now I'm at 28,000. So I've been doing a little bit of work, and that's what I found out it takes is the daily stuff. You do your post, you do your posts, you do your post, and then you do your posts. And I've had a lot of fun with it. I've interacted with other folks, Rachel and Danny and Ashley and Angela and Megan and Ryan, Austin Becker. He fired me up too. Of course, he fires everybody up. So
At the Mastermind, you mean?
no, Austin Becker and Megan Ryan had a Facebook group together. Like Austin, mentors them or coaches them. And so when one night we were on our coaching call and Austin showed up and he just fired everybody up one at a time. So it was kind of cool. But yes, I met him at the Mastermind too. It was like, I'm looking forward to our class reunion. Don't we have one of those coming up?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I've gotten my first high ticket commission, and I'm getting regular smaller ones from the work that I'm doing with my autoresponders and ClickFunnels and all that other stuff too. But it's really been great. I've grown to almost 2,000 email leads, contacts, and that's where I'm really doing my autorespond. As a matter of fact, that's what I was doing this morning right before I got on, was setting up some automation in my autoresponder because I can get my 2 hours in today of work, and that's basically what I do in the mornings.
So when you say setting up some automation, going back through setting up some emails to go out and follow up automatically as you're out driving your FedEx truck, you have these messages, these marketing messages that are going out, automatically. And wow, what a powerful thing. What is that like for you, knowing that you can go do that, and that this is okay. This is still working. Yeah, you have to come back and keep, putting logs on the fire, but it's going to keep burning. And if you keep putting logs on the fire, and it's going to grow into a larger fire. Does that give you the security that people all talk about when they have another job and they're getting older? Can you explain to us, or for those people, what does it actually feel like? You're not making $1 million a month or a year, but from what I hear, you have income coming in. And as you put more logs on the fire is getting bigger. Does it actually relieve stress? And does it actually make you happier and make life better? Like people who are coming up to retirement, who feel like they don't have enough, are feeling that stress and are looking for that feeling. Does it happen? You can tell us. You're most qualified to tell us your experience.
Oh yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, that's why I started, uh, or finally got off the fence and pulled the trigger, was because I knew that, in a few years, I'm not going to be able to, put out the way I do now with work, put in the hours, the travel and stuff that I do, but I like traveling. And so my wife likes traveling. So I want to be able to still go to Europe, even though I'm on Social Security, or whatever, retirement, um, because I'm going to have a steady stream of income coming from my automatic, you know, uh, automation that I've set up, the passive income that I'm setting up now, doing the work now, so that down the road it just keeps working, even when I'm not. And that's one of the things that I've learned from networking with my other affiliates is do all the work now so that a year from now or 2 years from now, you just click a button, or you just put in a new email. uh, um, Everything goes blank when you get on screen. But it's you just set up a new autoresponder. You find a new campaign that you want to promote, and you just plug it in, and you make your work do your work for you. The work that you did last year, the work you did 6 months ago, you can retask it, just like your TikTok videos. When I learned I
Yeah.
could retask a TikTok video, I was like, man, I can post
Oh, I
10 a
know.
day.
I
So
I know. It's really amazing when you start to get into action and realize how many things you actually can repurpose and automate and make passive. You got to get in and get started to discover what those things are, and you will. Just like you said, everybody talks about multiple streams of income. Well, I can actually go on my computer screen and show you, and we do in the blueprints, in the decade in a day, we show people how to set up an additional stream of income. And you just mentioned it. Does everybody want to know how we show people how to do it? Thought so. Andy just said it. You write a couple of emails and plug those emails promoting a new product onto the end of your autoresponder. So if you've got 28 messages going out over, one a day, 28 days, you just write 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So, hey, now I got 6 more emails that are going out. I write them once. And when somebody subscribes to my list, those emails go out. I set it for every 24 hours. So every 24 hours, a new email is going out promoting maybe the same product. Maybe I send a couple about the same product, but then I might move on to a different one. And I can write those emails and plug those emails into the end of my autoresponder. Some of us only have 10 messages. Well, do you know that can be 365 messages? You can have as many automated follow-ups going up. So when somebody subscribes the first time into your funnel and onto your email list from, say, TikTok, they're getting automated messages from you into their email inbox. And many of them don't know the difference. I mean, that you set those up one time, but they're getting messages over the next 365 years while you do zero more work
mhm.
to generate any more activity from that person. And that's about as passive as it's going to get. There's never going to be I did no work, but now I've got all this activity that's happening. But in our business, you can do it one time and then have it continue to operate and run over and over. And the beautiful thing about Andy, and you know this because humans crash into things and all this kind of stuff, but these tools, these soft, your autoresponder, they never break and they never get old, do they, Andy? So those things get sent out the same way. They're never tired. You're never sitting over. It never complains about too much work or too much exhaustion. We have to learn how to, connect with people and use tools. And that can be a challenge. What has been something and do you have any thoughts or comments on kind of what I just said about the power of really understanding what automation means? It doesn't mean that you never do any work in it just happens over and over again. It means that you set it up one time, go through the training. This was one of the things I discovered at this last mastermind I reminded of was most of us don't go through the training. So go through the training. We come to the masterminds or we buy more training, but all the answers that we're looking for in the training that we bought. So in the blueprints, we show people how to set it up one time. But man, have you ever done anything in your life, Andy, besides invested in stocks or something like that, to where you set it up one time and it kept actually working for you over and over again? It really,
No.
and I'm trying to define what passive income actually means on here, so people have an idea and we don't just throw around buzzwords that get people excited and they don't really know what we're talking about. So passive income, email autoresponders, writing the message once, it goes out over and over again. That's passive income in 2022, and that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, I have in my email sequence, I do talk about I've been doing side hustles since I was 15 years old. Because I
Yeah.
stock shelves, I cut grass, any job that somebody would give me, that was my side hustle. Even when I was a manager with FedEx back in the 90s, I lived in Nashville, and I'd take a break or go on lunch. I'd go on an audition for a music video, and I actually posted one of my music videos, the link to it in YouTube in my email responder, and I got a lot of traction from that. Even in the Facebook group that I'm in, and that's another thing. The Facebook group, I have set up a community
Let me
of my own.
stop. Let me ask you a question about what you just said, because a lot of people complain that, I don't have a story and I don't have stories and I have a bland life and all this kind of stuff. And it's always just a lack of creativity. And it's not about telling your story. It's about being a storyteller. And so you just mentioned a couple of things about your past, things in your life and stuff that you're talking about and you're using as content. And I wonder if you could just speak for a minute, Andy, about the huge, the huge pile of memories and stories and content and just ideas if we just apply a little bit of creativity to our business and content creation. It's sort of like if you imagine we are now human beings just want to sit in front of screens. That's what they want to do. And so we have to create entertaining content and we have to create educational content. And if it's not good, nobody's going to watch it the same way that nobody's going to watch a shitty show on Netflix. And so I have to apply a little bit of creativity, but you just went over like a couple of memories or things that you have from your past. And I wonder if you could just speak to people who feel like they have nothing, like no knowledge, experience, and they're just the most bland people who have nothing going on. Could you speak about how you're using everything at your fingertips to create the life that you want? Everything at your fingertips.
Yeah, journaling has brought that out of me because I write about everything that I do. My wife and I were driving 40 miles out of town this past weekend, and we rescued a dog that was
Wow.
running down the middle of the highway that probably wouldn't have made it through the end of the day. And everybody I've run into, I tell that story to as I'm walking around the neighborhood. That's a story. That's a story you can put in your on your TikTok. I can
Yeah.
tell that story on TikTok. My wife and I were cooking dinner. Everything's a story. That's what we do every day. We're living a TV show every day. It's just that there's no cameras around. So you have to tell people later. And that's
Yeah.
the way I see it. And that's the way I write my scripts for TikTok. That's the way I write my emails. I tell what happened. I say why I do this. I just I tell story. I've been telling stories since kindergarten when they,
We all have. We all have.
I always
We
I
all
always have
have.
to catch myself because I remember when I was at the mastermind, I just felt like every time somebody made eye contact with me, I was like, I got to tell them a story. That's what you do. I mean, that's what your
That's how we
emails are.
communicate, you know?
Yeah,
That's how we communicate with each
you,
other, and this is no different.
and it gets folks to know, like, and trust you, and then they buy from you.
Yeah.
The one young lady that's in my that I'm coaching in my Facebook group. She said that I just came across as a nice guy. Everybody else seems so scripted and so perfect or whatever, and I just came across as a guy who's just out here sharing what he's doing, and it made them feel like they could do it. And I was like, wow, that meant a lot to me, that I got through the way I intended to, because that's it. You got to be authentic, and if you're not
Yeah.
authentic, people can see right through it. So
Yeah. And they
I
wanna
like
see a
telling stories.
they wanna see a regular person. They wanna see a regular
Mhm.
person, and they wanna hear about regular everyday experiences. They don't wanna hear about, how you're sitting in your mansion somewhere eating bonbons. They can't relate to that. People can't relate to that. We just came out of everything that we just came out of while the east part of the world is at war and invade. I mean, there's so much hardship happening around the world, and now we're going into a recession. For God's sakes, people
Mhm.
are struggling, and they're looking to be entertained. They're looking to be educated, and these stories, they also are looking for people, like, as I was saying, that they can identify with, that they can relate to. And that's why I always tell people, dumb down the production, dumb down the lingo in the words that you're saying. Dumb down, not because people are dumb, but because they're not really paying attention. And you have to make sure that you speak in ways and in words, in your delivery is just simple and clear, and it's you're not doing too much, because then we lose that authentic connection. People literally wanna see somebody sitting in their living room, just
Done that.
being a person and not being perfect, because it's just that's what we wanna see. And so, were you uncomfortable at first? Did you feel awkward at first, and how did you get over that, and how do you feel now?
Oh, I remember my first video I created for my legendary ClickFunnels uh, presentation. It was terrible. It was dark. It was awful. And I forgot all about it until I went back and checked everything one time. And I was like, oh, I got to make a new one. And I did get pretty good pretty quick at being okay saying everything. Um, Sunsets. I was thinking that, people forget to look at the sunset. People forget to look at the sunrise. People forget to look at the flowers growing. My wife is a master horticulturist. I mean, every plant she knows the name of it and all that stuff. But you talk about those things on your TikToks, and then it becomes easier. If you talk about things then
Mhm.
it's easier. And so I do TikToks where I say, you know, yeah, work was tough today, but look at that sunset. Takes your mind right off of it. The stress just melts away, and then I talk about, a 2-day weekend is not long enough. Why not go for a 5-day weekend? Who wouldn't love that? That's what I'm providing myself and my family. You know, I want to have a 5-day weekend and a 2-day work week, that kind of thing. And so I communicate that because Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
Right now it's May and I have to get all my vacation in by the end of the month. So I'm working 3-day weeks. I take Mondays and Fridays off every week, and that keeps coming up in my
Yeah.
TikToks. Everything. I could go on and on about how it got simpler just because I kept doing it. And then when I found out I could, retask some of those, and I make 3 new ones a day, and I retask 4, or I retask 2, or 1, or
When you say
one that didn't go
retask, what do you mean by retask? Explain that
well.
and give us
Okay.
the
I take
content. Just say that differently because we might not know what that means.
yeah. I download a TikTok that I previously recorded, and I download it, save it, and then copy the link, and then put it on Snaptic, and then I can reuse it, change the music or whatever, add a little bit more verbiage, or add verbiage. Sometimes I don't have verbiage or typing on the screen. Sometimes I do. It's using something you've already produced 3 months, 4 months ago that did okay or didn't do well at all. You just repost it because it tells you it had 150 views. Well, those 150 people, if they see it again, maybe they'll react this time. They'll think, I'm seeing this one again. But, maybe this time 1,000 people will see it. I've got a couple. I've got one that I retask every other week. The first time I posted it, it did 300,000. The second time it did 200,000. It always does 20 to 50,000 now every 2 weeks when I repost it. And all it says is you're something about doing your 40 hours a week and you're not getting anywhere. And I'm just sitting here like this the whole time, just wondering why people just keep scrolling. And
I'm on your. Where's the one that you just repost every so
this
often?
one right here, the one with my blue shirt. No, go down a little bit. Down. There.
Oh, right here.
On far left, the way I'm looking at it, it's got 8870 right now. That one right there, the original one, if you scrolled all the way through, the original one has like 300,000.
Yeah. Here it is again. You got 72.3 thousand.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's see if we can find it again. There you are again. You got 13,000 just a week later or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find it again, because this is, you call it retask, others call it repurpose. It's just using the same piece of content over again, either on the same platform or on a different one. Here it is again, 6,711. You folks are making this too hard. This is man, I love how you are making, there it is again, another 18,000 views. Man, brother, you are keeping it simple. I love it. Gosh.
I talk in my home office, at my work office. I usually at lunchtime or after work or before work. There it is. There's 405,000.
Wow.
That's a big one.
Wow. So you take a video, you take the link, you post the link to the video. Like, for example, you download it, right? You download the video from inside of your account. You can copy the link like this too, right?
Yeah. That's exactly. You can do that right there. There you go.
And then you put it right here, and then you click download, and
it tells you which server. You choose a server.
Right.
And then
my video is downloaded.
Yeah.
Where's my video? Okay, no. Here it comes. Here it comes. Now I got my video. And now what Andy meant was the TikTok watermark has been removed off of the video. So now I can post it over on Instagram or Facebook. But you know what, Andy? I see a lot of people who don't even take the dang watermark. They just repost it on other platforms. I'm talking about big, celebrities and influencers and stuff like that. The most important thing is that we repurpose, or as you call it, retask this content, because nowadays, a piece of content can live forever. It can be useful forever if it worked once or if it didn't work once. As Andy said, even those that don't work, you can repost them on at 1 week. And I think that was great evidence as we scrolled through and we saw all those, that same video right here, which, by the way, Andy's not even speaking in, he's not even talking in. He simply had to look at his camera and just shake his head and add a little music, and he put a little text right there. It says, realizing that most people scroll past my videos not knowing that I will show them how to make 1 to 5K per week so they don't have to give 40 to 50 hours a week to the job. And here's another thing. You have no problem, you're not caught up in your head and talking yourself out of the creating content and adding value out there to people's lives and marketing. Even though you have a job that you work at, that you go to, and you're talking about helping others quit their job. A lot of people have all kinds of perspectives and limiting beliefs around doing that and talking about these type of things. They feel they're not qualified. Who would listen to me? Andy, would you tell us how you view that? How do you view and why are you qualified as a rather new internet marketer? Why are you entitled? Why do you have the right? Why do you have the right
Okay.
to go out onto the TikTok and talk about quitting your job and so forth and all these things when others maybe like you, and surely there are lots of them, think, hey, I'm not qualified yet, I'll get there. And we heard that at the mastermind just this weekend. A lot of people's things that they said to themselves, I'll get there, I'm not ready yet. Can you speak to that?
I went to college. I got a marketing degree. Never used it. I went the traditional route. I paid for college, went to college, got a job. Just because I worked at FedEx through college, I went into management. Didn't even use my marketing, but I sell myself every day to my employees or whatever. I've gone the 30, 35-year route, and I don't have the money to retire the way I want to. Because I can retire. You Social Security, you can live on Social Security. You just might live in a box. But I don't want to live in a box. I want to be able to travel. So that's what my message is I did it the traditional way and it's not working for me. So
Wow.
I have to quit my job in a few years.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'm going to kill myself, because that's just basically you work yourself to death. And I don't want to retire when I'm 70 and have 5 or 6 years of retirement and just be moping around because I'm, worn out my legs, worn out my, I want to enjoy life while I still have life in me. Getting
Yeah.
this puppy did that, that's for sure. But I don't feel like I have to be qualified. I am qualified,
Mhm.
because I did it the traditional way and it didn't work, it didn't work for me for
Yeah.
where I am now in my life. But everyone I speak to now, they see the energy that comes to me when I talk about this. They respond with, man, you really are getting into this. You look like you're having a lot of fun. I'm like, I don't look like it. I am having fun because it is fun. It is work, but it is fun.
Mm.
And I just don't give up. That's I haven't given up on anything that I've ever done.
Mm.
Things did leave, and I talk about that. Don't let things hold you back. Get off the fence, take action, and do it with intent, so that when the success comes, you're ready for it. Because if
Mm.
it doesn't come, then you keep trying. Like I had a conversation with my nephew where he was talking about, he's graduating from college. I'm not saying don't use your education. He wants to be a weatherman, but I mean, this gives me the opportunity to do some extra stuff, to do an extra long weekend, or take my wife someplace for a vacation. Like, I've got pictures of us in Hawaii. I've got pictures of us, at the Biltmore in Asheville. I've got pictures of us in Italy, all those things, because we've been doing that while we've been working, but we did it
Mm,
for a week, or we
mm,
did it for 10 days. What if you did
mm.
it for a month? We met people who were in Italy in a house for a month. They were at the grocery store getting groceries. We were, at the grocery store getting a bottle of wine and some cheese for the night. So that's the kind of opportunity I'm giving us, me and my wife, and I'm giving others that same opportunity. And that's what I'm trying to communicate to them through my TikToks, not because I'm qualified, it's because that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that? Or do you want to do something different? Some people want to go
Yeah.
hunting for a month. So,
I love that angle. I mean, you just gave people, if they really heard you and can get started. A lot of us just we got to get off the sidelines and onto the field. But you just gave people a real pass, a real angle, a real lane they could drive in that I think you could feel comfortable, which is, yeah, I did it wrong. I'm doing it wrong. This whole or whatever you're at, right, whatever your niche is, but it's such a humble message. I mean, you working in the make money online niche saying that, hey, my money plan is failing. It's failed. And what a humble approach. And it makes it's sort of like self-deprecating humor, like when you make fun of yourself, you take everybody's ammo away. It's why those people go so viral and go up into comedy and in they everywhere they go, they just fit right into social circles and they seem like they can just make friends anywhere they go, is because they're never trying to be cool or be arrogant, or they're always making fun of themselves. And so anybody who's willing to make fun of themselves and anybody who's willing to say, I was wrong, don't do it like me, I'm learning a new way, that's a safe person to follow and that's a safe person to be around, because they're not going to chastise you or they're not going to shame you or they're not they're saying, hey, I was wrong and now I'm adjusting. You're being such a safe person to follow, and at the same time you found an angle that allows you to be confident when you speak, because you're not lying. You're not trying to be something that you're not. You're saying my plan failed and I'm okay saying in front of everybody that it failed because now I'm doing something about it and I'm willing to share what I'm doing with you.
yeah. And I get that. That's my message to, like, my nephew is, in school, if you fail, you're a failure. They don't say, well, that's what they teach people. That's what they teach kids. That's what they teach young adults. In life, when you fail, you get up, you brush yourself off, you take a different angle, or put your nose to the ground a little bit harder. You post 10 TikToks today instead of 5, or you post 4 instead of 1. I
Mm,
remember when we were at the Mastermind, and Stevie, you may remember Stevie, um, he says, make a TikTok right now. And we were sitting outside, and so I did. And it's just
mm.
because I was having trouble just doing it.
Yeah.
And I was a failure up to that point. And then
Mm,
Stevie just said, the only reason this will fail is if you don't do the work. If you don't, keep doing the work. If you don't do the tasks that you plan for yourself, that we've told you to do, or you've been told to do or coached to do, if you don't do them, you will fail. But if you do them, we can everybody who does them succeeds. You
yeah.
know, they may have to do 5 or 10 or 15 TikToks. I've seen people that do 10 a day. And I mean, some days I have done 10. Most days I get 5, 4, 6. I don't I don't have a set number. It's the creativity that comes to me, or
Yeah.
the message I see in somebody else's that I turn around and say, that was the funniest thing, was when Austin told Megan and Ryan, just do what I did. make the same TikTok, use the same,
All
verbiage, or change it up to make it be yours. That's all you have to do. And
right.
that's what I'm coaching Kimberly to do, this young lady that I'm working with. I said, just do what I do. And she goes, I don't know if I can do that. But
Well, we did a similar thing at the mastermind. Are you able to see my screen right now?
yes.
So we all, Joshua Smith, and this is a big thing. Joshua Smith got up there in front of the room, and he said, hey, I've been a college athlete. I've been a walk on college football player who made the team after the coach told me that I should quit because I'd never be good enough. And he taught us what that winning edge formula was, and it boiled down to small uncomfortable actions consistently every day. Small, not big, small. And
Mhm.
so we also did that same thing. We all recorded a video to post on TikTok or right in TikTok, and this was mine.
This one's going to get wide. Get real wide. Okay, everybody ready? You ready? All right, here we go. Ready? Everybody start the camera.
I've got one like that.
We just,
That's
it was just people pulling out their phones after they did that, and just pressed record and just did one. Just it and then we stopped. It was like before that, the world was on top of them. And
mhm.
after that simple little exercise, which at this point, by the way, is second nature. After you do it for a little while, it's second nature. But to everybody who had yet to do it, after they did it, and they were, forced to basically,
Mhm.
they were on top of the world. They were on top of the world. They felt like, I just conquered Mount Everest. Andy, why do people, instead of trying and seeing what it's like, why do we sit there and look at it for so long, terrified of it? I mean, do you have that answer? I don't know yet. I don't know why, and it just frustrates me, because there's so many people. Every single person that comes through goes through the blueprints. Even if you can't afford the blueprints, you just, you're so, but the blueprints, and if you can come to a mastermind of something, makes it so much more clear and so much more simple to just get trained up. But why do people why do you think that, and it's like this all the time, Andy. It's not just like recording a video, but people will not do something for years and then finally do it and be like, why didn't I do that the whole time?
Right. Right. It's fear. People are raised to be fearful. People laugh at you. Well, if you, like you said earlier, self-deprecation. If you laugh at yourself, what does it make a difference if somebody else laughs at you? Because I laugh at myself all the time. I'm a funny guy, but my wife will tell you I'm not funny. But every once in a while, she laughs at me, and I'm like, I thought I wasn't funny. You know, I'm funny to myself, so it doesn't matter if I'm funny to anybody else. And I don't know if
So
it's a confidence
when
thing
you
or
when you really get that, like when you really just stop, and I would just challenge each and every one of you to, it's not about I'm afraid or uncomfortable to do this business or market or whatever. It's really more just I care too much what people think, and I'm not putting enough value on what I think. And as you said, Andy, how funny I think it is. I do that all the time. I say some dumb shit that I think is funny. I have a big old laugh, and then I look around and nobody else thought it was funny, but it sure as hell was therapeutic to me, you know?
that's right. That's right. And that's, Gary V on, TikTok. That's where I met him, is on TikTok. Why worry about people out there that you don't even interact with, whether they like you or not? And I've had that mindset since I was, well, since I dated. I mean, I remember telling my buddies, they were like, how do you just go up to a girl and ask her out? I'm like, what's the worst thing she can do? She's going to say no or yes. She's going to say, who are you? And you just tell her, you just have a conversation. I remember telling my roommates and my buddies, just go ask her. Oh, man, she might say no. I'm like, ooh, that would be terrible. Somebody say no. How about this? No. I say it to them. There, you got one no. Go get another one. That's all you have to do. It's like asking somebody for the sale when I was a car salesman. I used to, when I was out of work, I could go get a job as a car salesman just like that, because every car dealership wants somebody that's not afraid of no. That's,
Man, isn't that a fun exercise? Get unafraid of no. In network marketing, I remember there was a book that was like go for no, or there was like a saying of go for no, because in that, in network marketing, MLM, whatever, I mean, you're prospecting people, anybody within 3 feet. You're leaving stick it notes on gas pumps saying looking for I mean, that you're talking to everybody. You're going to Walmart. You're just in your mindset is go for no, get a no, because then I'm that much closer to a yes. And it's like the way that I view the internet is like this. And it's hard to get over the initial shock of a negative comment. But a negative comment is feeding the algorithm in your popularity. Any comment, any engagement is feeding your popularity online. It's feeding your income. It's feeding your bank account, because attention, popularity, audience equals money. It monetize. You can monetize it however you want.
Mm-hmm.
So go for those comments. Yeah, go for those. Invite those. Welcome those comments. Anything, because it's raising your popularity. Maybe you might become the most hated person on TikTok. We think back to some of the largest empires, like the wrestling, and how there's the bad guy in wrestling. Remember the Undertakers or whoever were the bad guys. I watched it growing up, and people just hated, and it's all just, it's not that serious,
Nope.
that it was their job. And so, I was talking to somebody yesterday about those 4 agreements. It was a book that was written, and one of them is don't take things personal. It's hard, but if we can try not to take things personal, we'll grow our income as a result of it. What were you going to say?
Yeah. The one thing that finally resonated with me is, like, I saw Brian Brewer for a whole year, but when I clicked in on Nate Ryan. And I don't know if I don't know how well the people that are like superstars in the affiliate world of TikTok or whatever.
I know most of them. I know a lot.
I know you do. But I could say something, or Brian could say something, or Nate could say something, or Sarah T could say something, or all these other people that I actually know or see out there. They could say something and it doesn't resonate with me at all, or that doesn't resonate with you or somebody else. But when I say it, it does. Or it doesn't matter what you say. It's the person listening. It's just like in evangelism. You're not trying to save anybody. God's the one that saves people. It's not you. You're just starting the message. If they're ready for it, they'll come to know the Lord. That kind of thing. That's what evangelism is. It's just making it okay for that person that day, because God's the one that speaks to them. The message that we have is the same thing. Everybody wants more money. I don't care what they say. It's whether or not your message resonates with them that day that pushes them off the fence, or pushes them over the fence, or pulls them on your side of the fence, however you want to put it. So it's okay to have the same message as somebody else. It's your face, your eyes, your teeth, your hey there, that gets their attention and pulls them in, or not. Yeah, and it's okay.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I got from listening to other folks, and the message was so clear that that's what I try to tell the people that I'm coaching and working with, or just talking to, like you.
And how does somebody not go out there on TikTok and get out there in the comparisonitis? How can I think you just gave a great angle, but how do you manage your time? How do you manage your research time and your putting things into action time?
Um,
And how do you not
I
let
look,
your research
yeah,
time turn into comparisonitis and to where may I think you just gave us a peek into how your brain looks from that last answer. But how do you manage and balance to where that research time, and I'm
mhm,
putting quotations around research time because a lot of us say that we're researching and we're learning, but we oftentimes do those activities just to waste time so we don't have to go create. So
right.
how do you balance those two, or how did you in the beginning to where you didn't get into that sort of I'm lying to myself because I'm saying I'm researching, but I'm really just avoiding creating?
Well, that's one thing. I only follow about 300 people, um, and I, don't ever watch the people I'm following. I watch the For You page. When I'm doing research, I'm on the For You page because it's going to give me other people who are on other messages. What, they're not in the wealth, or they're not in our arena. So,
Yeah.
but their content may be interesting, and I can repurpose their idea into mine. And what happens is, okay, so I get a post, I write a script, and I do a post. When it comes back up, once you post that, it comes up, you're following. And so that's when you see those other people that I'll switch right back out of it because I'm looking, that's my process for creating TikToks is I'm writing scripts, I'm just scrolling, you know, on the For You page. Because
Yeah.
if I do the following page, all I see is other affiliates, and I'm just going to be copying their stuff. And every once in a while they have good ones. Every once in a while I have a good one. Who knows? You
Right,
never know.
right, right. Right,
But
right, 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 right.
I don't compare myself to anybody because I don't know anybody else's story like I know my own.
Yeah.
I know why I'm here. I know what I'm looking for and what I'm going to be doing a year from now. And that's going to be planning my 3-month vacation when I retire at 62 on June
My man.
16th, 2023. So anyway,
I
that's my
had a
plan anyway.
I had a great friend who retired from a job he worked for 25 years, and they gave him $1,000 check and like a trophy or something. I was
Yeah.
like, man, oh man. I mean, some of the things that we do out there, and I'm sure FedEx will treat you better than that, hopefully. But what's important is that you're not waiting or relying on somebody else to take care of you, or you're not, you can't help but to respect that. So I think for a lot of you, if you wonder if you're older and you wonder what it looks like to a younger person when you're out here doing what Andy is doing, even if you're simply going through training, our challenge or our blueprints, and you're making an effort, what that looks like to younger people is heroic. It looks like it looks incredible. It looks awesome. It looks in so often I think, and I'm feeling this a little bit as I get older, like nobody wants to listen to me anymore, or there's nothing more that I have to offer. And I think that was a big thing that older people felt be in sort of the last 5 or 10 years, because it's been hard for older people to get jobs because of younger people, and companies want to hire younger people. So I think people like my stepdad, who's a little bit older than you, Andy, really struggled after he lost his job at Sears. He struggled to get new employment because he felt like that. He felt like a lot of younger people are taking, but things changed with the internet. Things are different online. And when I see an older person like yourself out there marketing and trying and even with that message, which is not a message of I'm older and I know and I'm shaking a finger at you, but you're so brilliant to use and to have the angle in the message that you do, which is I screwed up. I was wrong. And you know what? Maybe your parents were wrong too, and they won't admit it. That's okay. I'm probably your parents' age, or maybe I'm your age, and I was wrong. The 40-hour a week for 40 years plan didn't work for me. And now I'm scrambling to try to make some things happen. I've done some really dumb stuff, but I found some really good stuff that works too. And if you want to learn more, I'm happy to show you. To a young person, my older friends out there, I want to speak to you. I want to speak to you. We need that. We need that. We need older people who can actually mentor us, who can actually say, I've been there. I'm 20 years ahead of you, Dave, and I messed up and I'm doing it different. And I honestly want to tell you about my experience. You don't have to be cocky. You don't have to be arrogant. You don't have to talk down to anyone else. That sort of mentorship that you're bringing, Andy, is a beautiful, it feels so good to listen to. It feels so good to watch. And I just want to let all of my older friends know who are watching this right now that as a younger person, when I see somebody like Papa Don, when I see somebody like Andy here, and that attitude of I'm older than you, but I don't know it all. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm here to learn from you. I don't want to be like other older people who are too stuck in their ways to ask for help and who live in a way they don't have to live because they just won't ask for help. To a younger person, it is a feeling that makes me feel safe and it makes me feel trusting. And my hope is that if you're one of our older friends here in our community, that you really understand there is a way to reach people. There's a way to do it. There's a way to look really cool doing it. And it's probably the opposite of what you think you need to do. Just be humble and just teach us about your life experience. Teach us honestly, was it a good decision? And tell us that story. Educate us because a lot of us don't have fathers or don't even have family members or mothers or anybody healthy in our families that we can sit down and we'll have those honest conversations with us and really treat it. That's what young people are missing. And God, it's a huge opportunity, Annie, not just to make tons of money, but to actually make an impact on people and get through to them. We all want to help, but sometimes the way that we deliver it isn't effective. And I just see a pattern here with you, with Papa Don, and with some of our older friends who have found that messaging that works and it makes you feel comfortable and it's fun to do it rather than you feeling like you're talking about something that's not authentic to you.
Right. And let me tell you, I have a 14-year-old. I treat her like a granddaughter. She's my daughter-in-law's sister. And I told her I had 26,000 followers when I had 26,000 followers on TikTok. And she like flipped out. You know, old people aren't supposed to be able to do this stuff. That was her mindset. And that's what she thought. And I felt like, man, I'm going to be a great granddad because everybody, not all granddads are out here putting
You are,
themselves,
brother. You are.
putting themselves out there. You know,
You
it's just,
already are. You're a great grandfather to a lot of people who don't have a grandfather right now.
yeah,
And you're
that's
going to
what I want to be.
continue to
Yeah.
be that. You're going to continue to be that for people as you, and Craig says, old people unite. Please, please unite. Please reach out, Andy, spearhead and get with Papa Don, start an older people's group or something and just lead these people and let them know that us folks, I'm 38, man, I need to listen and learn from older people who have been there before me, but not this way. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to learn like this. We just want to say, hey, man, give me a hug. It's okay. You're on the right path.
Right.
Just here's the mistakes that I made in my marriage. Here's the mistakes that I made in my work. Here's the mistakes that I made with my children. I mean, God, just talk to me and teach me what your life has been like so I can learn from you. And man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of young people, and we love it. That's why America was so sad when Betty White died, was because she brought so much. She was really an older person that stayed young, was able to continue to connect with young people, and didn't go over into that sort of like it. When we get older, I feel like and I'm going through some of this too, we can either make an effort to stay connected and stay relevant, or we can just close our mind off and say, my way is the only way. And, the world doesn't work like that. It changes too fast. It's our responsibility to keep up with it. And that's why I love what Papa Don at 79, you at 61, and so many others who are making this work are approaching it and saying, hey, these young bucks, I can learn something from them. And you know what we're saying? We can learn something from you too. And we just need to be talked to and taught it in a way that empowers us.
Right. I can't wait to get. I mean, I know I'm enjoying the stew out of this, but I can't wait. I've got so many ideas I got to write down because
Well, hey man, go do
it
it, brother.
happens all
Go
day
do it.
long, every day.
Listen, come back and see us and keep us posted. Come back in a month or two, and I'd love to have you at the mastermind. I mean, I know that's a goal, and we just had Stephen Droge do the same thing. He was at the mastermind in December. Do you remember him? And he has absolutely crushed it in 6 months. One of the things that I realized this weekend was a lot of people who had bought the blueprints, who were looking in at the mastermind this last weekend, who had bought the blueprints but had not gone through them, were still looking for the answers. And I wondered if you could just speak on the power of just investing a little bit of money and getting some proper training instead of the YouTube endless guru
Yeah.
webinar to different business models. And then the power, just recap one more, the power of coming to the event. And not everybody can come to the event. So if you buy the training, what should you do with it? And how, like, from your perspective, so many people say, I did the blueprints. What does did mean? Does did mean that you bought them? Because at the mastermind,
A lot of times it's
every single question in the room, I sort of compiled, and then I went into the blueprint, pulled it up on the big screen, and showed exactly where that question was answered inside of the blueprint. And sometimes my point is, we're looking for the answer everywhere else, and it's right in front of us. And
right.
the other common thing is, hey, we all think that we need a coach and a mentor, and we think we need to work one-on-one with somebody. And the other thing that I've noticed is that a lot of the people who are successful, they just go to work. They just watch the videos first and attend the live decade in a day training first before they say, I need a mentor, and go and spend more money and more time. They take the time first to go through the videos and go through the training and watch. And that seems like such a duh, but this is life-changing information that's in the blueprints. Life-changing. The people who are succeeding, like Andrea from Peru, she was just at the mastermind. 200 million views on TikTok. 200 million views on TikTok. And she is a regular person who just went through the training and applied it step by step. And so, what is your message to people who are either on the fence or who have purchased but have not gone through that training?
It's watching it not just once. It's not watching it twice. It's watching it with your notepad out and or try to create a click funnel without any information. And then you have all these questions and you go back. Like I can't tell you how many times I've watched the same video over and over and over again from the blueprints, from the training videos, from the 15-day challenge. I like all of them. I mean, and I have access to all of them for as long as I, remember my login and my computer remembers it for me. So that'll be
Yeah.
all right. But don't be afraid to watch something twice. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to not get it the first time. Did you get statistics in college the first time? No. I love the analytics of TikTok because I love statistics so much from the statistics I went through, in college. I just love numbers. And as a manager at FedEx, I look at a lot of numbers. But, I also look at numbers on TikTok. I look at where my TikToks are going because I got a lot of people from Africa. And that's why I had to go in and look what countries cannot do this. There are countries that, this is not, available. And so I have to communicate that. But that's just being honest. And I make that available to them on my messaging. So, got to do all that stuff. You got to go through it again and again and again.
It's amazing. There's really so much in here, just briefly, just for anybody who's like, hey, what's back there? What's in the blueprints? First of all, how the affiliate marketing business blueprint works, so I prepare you with what the business model is and how this blueprint, how this training is going to teach you these blueprints. Then sitting on a gold mine, I give you the entire history of direct response marketing and like the important high level points, how people started selling information. I give you an entire swipe file of tons of different sales letters that were written back before the internet existed. So you can see how information was sold even before the internet. So you can see that a lot of these principles are timeless. And then the fishing formula is the most clear and powerful direct response marketing system ever created for affiliates. It's just a crystal clear process that's 8 steps long that you can apply to any product in any niche. It's just how to identify an audience, exactly how to get them from, say, watching your TikTok video into your funnel. What are the exact things you need to do? And what are the exact things you need to have set up? And then second helping, and third helping, how do you sell the same person more stuff over and over again? Then I teach you about compliance. And then I just say, go in and pick a traffic strategy. And you can pick the Facebook funnel, the TikTok funnel, the YouTube funnel, the Instagram funnel, the Pinterest funnel. It's amazing. You can go to any one of these, start with one platform, master that platform, and just keep going all in on that platform. If you're having a hard time deciding what platform you want to go, a lot of people are talking about TikTok. If you like video, go to TikTok. If you like writing, we have Pinterest, we have Facebook, right? We talk about that in the training. And this was a big one. People are always like, hey, what about the tech, the setup? I just need the mechanics. Sometimes I'll open this up to people and I'll say, well, let's say that you picked TikTok. Well, here's the strategy. So you understand the high level. Here's how to set up your bridge page funnel, how to make your bridge page video, setting up your email list, actual case studies so you can see how others applied it. And then techie helplines, how to do the tech stuff, even right there on the TikTok app, and then there's a couple of other things about testing and tracking, building better bait, the copywriter's playbook. My friends, my point is that every single thing that you need to know about mastering this business is inside of the affiliate marketing business blueprint or the business blueprints, because there's 4 ways you can sell information. And the challenge is designed to get you all started, to get you it's like an appetizer at a restaurant, and then the blueprints are the meal. If you don't like the appetizer, go to somewhere else. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if you want the meal, then that's what that's for. But I wanted to just recap, show it in plain language so people could see it. Listen, Andy, I want to let you go. Come back and see us, man, in the future, and keep up the fantastic work. All right, brother?
All right. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
See you, man. All right, my friends, wanted to let Andy go because remember, not only does he have work to do, he also has a full-time job. So he's another person who's doing this with a full-time job. And Joshua Smith at the Mastermind this weekend was another one of those people who said, I'm doing this with a full-time job. I'm doing this with a full-time job and I'm loving it because Josh actually loves his full-time job or likes his full-time job. A little bit different than Andy who wants to, retire and not that Andy said he hates his job, but there are some of you who are going to want to keep your job. That's fine. How do you fast track your learning? How do you fast track this whole process? Don't spend months on YouTube or with some wannabe guru who hit you up in Facebook in their coaching program because they told you that legendary wasn't enough. Don't fall for it. Get in and do what hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other people that you can actually hear from them by scrolling back through past Wake Up Legendary episodes. Hear what hundreds of other people did, which was take their education serious, enroll, go through it, apply it, and experience results, and then keep applying and keep building. That's what this is about. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Get out of here. Have a fantastic day. Be legendary.